Hi, my name is Katie Hoppa, and I am doing my presentation on period poverty. So let's get started. Okay, so period poverty, it's defined as a lack of access to sanitary products, menstrual hygiene education, toilets, hand washing facilities, and or waste management. So this is seen throughout all cultures and all populations. And how it relates to this course, it's a women environmental issue. It can relate to many other topics that we've discussed throughout the course. It's tied to the idea of gender discrimination with the tampon tax, which we'll talk about, relates to the type of products used and how they affect women's health, and also how they are affecting the environment and choosing sustainable choices. Okay. So how big is the issue? It's a global issue, so it affects all nations and all cultures, both women and environment. Just a few statistics about different cultures. 1 in 10 females in the UK aged 14 to 21 have limited access to products. Only about 12% of women in India can actually afford sanitary products for menstruation. Only about 50% of schoolgirls in Kenya have access to sanitary pads. And then about in the US, the problem exists here too. 1 in 5 girls skip school every month due to their period. So it is a very widespread issue. Okay. So the types of sanitary products, I'm sure many of you are familiar with a lot of them, but we've got tampons, sanitary pads, the menstrual cup, which is a reusable option, and it's said to last up to 10 years. Reusable pads, and then a new invention I discovered was the flex cup. So that's really interesting too. Okay, so what does a woman do when she can't afford pads? Well, depending on where she lives, she resorts to other hygienic methods, such as rags, socks, or even reusing soiled products. And one of the recent studies I found in one of the articles in my paper that I put in was that a village in Africa, they did a study in a village in Africa, and a lot of the women stated that when they don't have funds to new sanitary products or just can't find clean options, they'll resort to using 2 or 3 of the same pads for the whole length of their period. So they're reusing a pad that they've used already 2 or 3 days, and depending on the length of their period, that's almost upwards to a week of reusing pads, which is very unhygienic and can lead to a lot of problems, which is what goes into next, the health risks of doing this sort of thing. So higher risk for reproductive infections and urinary tract infections for women who practice in unhygienic period practices. And then it also has a lot of effect on mental and emotional health as well. A lot of females, especially young schoolgirls, experience this kind of emotional and mental instability because they are never ending worrying about, are they going to find access to clean sanitary products? Are people going to know that they're on their period when they're at school? So a lot of this leads to girls skipping or dropping out of school, which affects their long-term growth as a woman and getting to their full potential as a woman as well. Okay, so the environmental issues. So it's stated that in Britain, a woman uses an estimated 11,000 pads and tampons in their lifetime, which accumulates to over 200,000 tons of waste, which then takes about 500 years to biodegrade. So that is very detrimental to our environmental system. And most tads and pads are made from rayon, which is really interesting. I didn't know this. And this is just a picture comparing rayon and cotton. Of course, you would want to use organic cotton, but rayon is like more of a semi-synthetic material, while cotton's seen as more natural. And then tampons, of course, have the plastic applicators, which can get in our water systems and can pollute our waters, which that's just a picture of, it's kind of hard to see, but just some tampon waste that can be found. And let me see this video is gonna work. I'm not sure if it's going to. It's just a video of a tampon being burned. So it's just comparing an organic tampon to a conventional tampon, and the video shows an organic tampon will completely burn and basically disintegrate, and a conventional tampon will melt. So that's the difference between the two, which is also very interesting. Hold on 1 second, sorry. Should plan that out. Okay. Oops. Go back one. Okay. So, accessibility. There is accessibility issues as well. The tampon tax, as we learned, is an issue. Its definition is from an article that we read. Is an umbrella term that refers to sales, value-added tax, and similar taxes imposed on menstrual hygiene products, whether it's tampons or not. So it doesn't matter whether it is tampons or not. And tampons and these kind of products are still taxed in some countries, and in the US and other countries such as Britain, they're also taxed as luxury products, alongside things like cigarettes and alcohol. So our periods are still considered luxuries for some reason. But yeah, that's the issue there. And even in the US, sanitary products are not covered by government-funded programs like WIC or SNAP. So things like getting them with food stamps or getting them from federally funded programs is impossible because they're not covered. And then, so how do we fix this problem? There are some ideas that can go along with it. Healthier and more sustainable options, so choosing organic methods is a great choice. It's better for the environment, it's better for you. Raising awareness of sustainable and healthy options. A lot of people don't know that they exist, and a lot of the time they're not sold in stores, and they're mostly advertised online, so getting the word out there that these are better options for not only the environment but us, and kind of spreading that message is a good way to kind of get the ball rolling on that. And then donating. A lot of populations won't have access to the internet or means by getting organic or sustainable options, so donating those options to communities in need, like developing countries, schools, and homeless shelters, so women have that option to them. Also speaking against the tampon tax, so writing letters to members of Congress, attending campaigns and events, just getting kind of the idea out there. Many people don't know about the tampon tax. I know I didn't know about it until this class, so just trying to fight against the tax on periods for that as well. So leading the way, here's some activists that have started leading the way for the period poverty movement. So Lola is an organic menstrual hygiene company that sells organic tampons and pads, and the research I found, they've donated over 1 million tampons and pads to more than 27 states, 60 cities, and 100 shelters, which is amazing. So they're making some great headway against period poverty. And then period.org, it's an online activist organization whose mission is to end period poverty through serving, educating, and advocating. So they have an option where people can go on there and apply to start a chapter in either their school or organization to start the conversation about period poverty. They can host packing parties, so they can put together materials for people in need and donate them that way. They encourage to write letters to local government officials, attend political awareness events, anything to keep the voices going for this movement is what they try and do. And so thank you for watching. And then here are my references. So thanks for watching, and can't wait to hear your comments. Thanks.